G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back once again to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 18, where I am back in JaWoodle Park 2 to continue testing and tinkering with some bases. And I've come back today to do another viewer requested base, and it's an amalgamation of two different bases that I made in the past. One being the invincible barbed wire trick that we used for a killing corridor a little bit ago now, and the other one being the water base. And people have been asking me if I can smoosh them together and make some horrible, disgusting baby of bases and see if it's actually going to work against the zombies. None of those bases should be having any kids, but we're going to force them to and see what comes out the other side. But before I can go out there and make that abomination to all of mankind, I need to go down into the Hall of Legends and say thank you, if I get out of the pond, and say thank you to 3 more awesome people for all of their wonderful support. And today, we are welcoming to the hall, up all day, I almost said up all day, but I guess that's going to be up all day, Drake W and Roman numeral 5, or V. So thank you, you 3 and everyone in the tower and everyone else in the hall, which is ever expanding and getting longer and longer and longer every day, it feels like, for all of your wonderful support, making all of this possible. The doors are still broken on the front. I really need to go in there and get my my old wire cutters out and fix up the doors to the hall. It's a nice place. It needs to have working doors on the front of it. So we're going to be combining this base here with its water trick, where you can keep, if I get rid of that one, if the zombies run in here, they get all nice and slow. They slow down like that, and we're going to try and combine that with this base here, this one here, where also you've got the barbed wire underneath the doors. If you don't know how to build these things, I'll kind of show you as we go along, and that also slows down the zombies. So if I can drench the zombies in some water, make them run over some barbed wire, how slow can I get the zombies to go? It's like a speed limbo. I shouldn't have to go too far away to find a place to build this thing. I'm just going to build it right next to the underground base entrance, which is still one of my favorite things. The automatic doors that keeps the zombies out from roaming in and coming down your entry tunnel that closes as soon as you move away. That whole base there is one of my pride and joys. It's big, it's awesome, it works. At some point when I'm alive long enough in a survival world and don't make any stupid decisions, I'll be alive long enough to build one of those things, and I'm very looking forward to having that in my own little world. But that is not what we're here for today. Today we're here for the watery barbed wire corridor. I'm sure I'll come up with a name for that as we go along. Watery spikes, I suppose? I don't really know. Maybe I'll call it the piranha base, because it's wet and jagged and just slowly gnaws away at your ankles. Well, not really slowly, I suppose. Anyway, build yourself a pillar like that. This is just going to be a killing corridor to start with. Very, very simple, very, very easy. We know how this works. Just keep on building this kind of structure to start with. In fact, it probably doesn't need to be that tall, does it? Let's get rid of all of you. Probably going to need to be maybe a couple of blocks tall, because I'm not really working on the cheese function at the end here. I'm trying to slow the zombies down, not get them to run in an infinite loop like normal. You know what? I kind of like the name Piranha Base. Maybe I'll dub this base the Piranha Base, assuming it works. If it doesn't work, then this episode will never come out, and you'll never know about it. Or maybe I'll still put it out anyway, just to show you guys that I am just as much of a mup as you think that I am. But yes, Piranha Base sounds pretty good. But this thing here needs to be 10 blocks wide. If you missed the invincible barbed wire episode, this is how it works. So you need to make a trench or like a slot in your base that is 10 blocks wide. And the reason for that is the garage doors are 5 blocks each. So you want 2 of these in here. Bang it like that, I think, and like that. Should be going the right way, I hope. Yes, they are. So they will make a nice little seal on top, and they fit in there perfectly, so the zombies can walk onto that as you like, nice and smoothly, without any sort of issue. And then once we've got that going, we just build ourselves a wall on the outside to keep it all nice and safe and secure. Keep them all in the middle, where all the barbed wire is going to be. Always remember, guys, that aesthetics matter. You can't have this giant gaping hole in the side of your piranha base, then all the piranhas would escape, and that would be no fun for anyone, especially not the zombies. So you got to cover up that whole gap there with some sheets. You can paint them all to look the same, and then it looks like a nice, just solid wall. It doesn't matter that it's actually hollow on the inside, but that's okay. You're covering up the cavity like going to the dentist after like 10 years, and they look at you like you've been eating way too much sugar, and you should have come in a whole decade earlier. Look at that. That looks just about perfect. It's nice and simple, nice and easy, and then it frees you up underneath here to place whatever you want. Now, normally, this is where I would place the barbed wire, but today, I'm going to do something a little bit differently, just to quickly test something out, because this is one of the most popular comments on the Invincible Barbed Wire episode. That was people asking, if you put spikes underneath this, if you put spikes down here, will the zombies still get hurt by it without actually damaging the spikes? Now, I've kind of tested this, but like not very thoroughly before, and definitely not in an episode, so I figured I should probably actually give this a crack and see what happens. It should still affect them, but they should also still take damage. But there's only one way to know. Let's get some Chelsea's in and see what happens. Cheerleader, Chelsea's feral, get their attention. All right, come over here, please, Dale. Come on, here we go. Yeah, look, show them the spikes, and you hear the spikes getting broken underneath. So they are taking damage and getting hurt and stumbling on them, but they're also damaging the blocks underneath. So that means it's not really invincible. You still use the spikes, but they're not really quite as effective as the barbed wire was. You guys need to stop. Yep, they're all dead. Let's have a quick look underneath at the spikes. Yeah, they're all sorts of trounced. They did not stand up to that attack well at all. So even though you still get the effect pushing through, you are going to lose your spikes in the process. There we go. Just fill up our piranha base with all of its little nashes so it can take chunks out of zombies as they run past, and that will give us that nice slowdown effect. I'm going to have to build some walls further up on this to get the zombies to actually stay in the middle, but you can see here, I'm running through here getting that nice slowdown without the barbed wire underneath getting hurt at all. They're all still perfect. I'm still perfect. You could make this automatic if you really wanted to, the garage doors on top, but for this, it's not really needed. You only need to turn them on once to get them to close, and that would waste all of your power. So you build the manual ones, get them over the top like that, and then you are happy as a Larry. Right, okay, that one there is done. Let's build this up a little bit more. That's the sheets, not the actual blocks. Build it up a little bit more, and we'll put some water in and see how slowly we can actually get the zombies to go. This is effectively trying to drop a bunch of zombies into a pit of super glue. The slower they go, the more time you have to kill them. Then you can probably do away with the drop at the end altogether. If they're moving at like a snail's pace, or even a snail's pace without its like little foot on the bottom, then you have no real need for a drop at the end there. They'll all just kind of get stuck down the end here, group up nicely, begging for a Molotov. Although they'll be underwater, so a Molotov won't be as effective. Decided to go with our new and improved zombie slide instead of just the normal 1/8 drop, because that's going to stop them going into destroy everything mode. And even though this is all made out of stainless steel, the less you get the zombies to start destroying stuff, the easier it's going to be. Less resources needed for repairs, and also less time to do it as well. But with that all there, need to get them actually a way to get back up there after I set them down their little slippery slope of fun times at the end there. And that's going to give us some ST stairs. Where are you? Get some of those, and also grab ourselves some corners as well. Now, I've built all this stuff a million billion times, so I am going to skip some of the things. I do see some of the comments saying, like, you know, how did you build that, or how did you build this? You know, I skipped through it kind of thing. And that's because, I mean, like, the people who've watched a lot of the episodes that I've done already know a lot of these things. So you can go back and find exactly how to build all of these things I've done before. I'm sorry I'm kind of skipping through it now, but if I built everything every time, we'd be here for like 4 hours each episode. We'd never get anything done. All right, while I was saying it, I actually got the entryway done. Now we have their nice little pyramid stairs going up. We are ready to put some water in. So the thing I'm most curious about with this is how the water is actually going to react. Because as far as the game is concerned, that's a cavity down there. So it's not, I don't think in the game's mind it's going to hit the roller door here and kind of spread out. Even though the water physics in 7 days is bogus as it is, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. Or if this is going to completely ignore all that and flow all around the gaff anyway. I mean, that's kind of okay though. As long as I have to come down like the... No, I was about to say, as long as I come down the zombie super fun happy slide, it'll be okay. That's right, we'll just put all of this in for now, and we'll deal with the overspill later on. If you're in the middle of making yourself a glass of orange juice, you don't stop everything because you spilled some on the floor. You finish making your damn orange juice, then you clean up after yourself. Or, you just get super lazy, pretend like you forgot about it, and wait till it turns into a sticky mess, and that's how you get ants. Alright, so how's that looking? We're looking pretty okay. How's it looking underneath? It's all aquafied underneath there. That's interesting. How slow are we going to move now? We now move faster with the water than we did when it was just... Oh, interesting. I did not expect that. I was expecting either the water or the barbed wire to slow me down. I was not expecting the water to completely nullify the barbed wire underneath and turn this into a slippery slide. I mean, I got some extra speed out of there. I was strapped on the roller skates, got my old heelys out, and I'm cruising down a hill. Look how fast you go through here now. You go almost even faster than you did before. That's really interesting. I see where I went wrong. I had forgotten about the little gimmick in the water base that makes it actually usable. And that is that underneath here, this is actually all like a half block underneath rather than a full block. So even though like in the game's mind, there is a full block taken up here by concrete and then a full block here of water, even though it's kind of sitting a bit lower, there's actually like one and a little bit of distance, I suppose 1.5 blocks of water that the zombies are running through. So 1 block of water doesn't do the trick. I had to do this to actually get that slowdown effect. Oh, that's really interesting. How am I going to do that then? Because I can't put that garage door to go halfway through a block. Oh, that might be the nail in the coffin of this design. I'm not sure. I still have to put this video out though, because this is a very common question I get, whether you can put these two things together. But now that I've remembered that I have to have the half block, I'm not sure if I can get this to work. Because look, you're just cruising through here, slipping and sliding around like you sprayed some dishwasher detergent on your local park. That's not going to be an option for me, I don't think. All right. Well, let's get rid of the water, and then we'll have a look at the design and see if we can tinker with it at all. Because right now, I don't... Oh, shit, I just opened the garage door. Has that flooded the whole thing? Not that it would have stopped it anyway. Yes, it has. All right, all the water needs to go. All the water, please get out of here. I need a sham wow or something. The water's refusing to leave. All right, there we go. The water's gone. I had to use the blue block trick rather than actually go through with the hay bales. Hay bales are the easiest way to get rid of water, by the way, because they're nice and cheap. You can bang them down wherever you need to get rid of the water like that. Then you can just pick them up again. It's nice and simple, easy way to get rid of any flooded areas that you don't need. There's a little pro tip for the day. Put you all there. Get rid of that water as well, please. Yep, there we go. We're all good. Right. So now that we've had that little hindrance made aware to us, how are we going to get around this? Now, my first instinct is just kind of bang the water up a little bit further. If I probably should have done it before I got rid of it all. If I make the water deeper, it slows down the zombies. But if I make the water deeper, it might flow over to other parts and be less secure. Huh, interesting. Well, what about to try and combat that? What if I get a wedge tip and I put that on the end here, just like that? Now, I mean, look, sure, the zombie's gonna have to run over here and then get to this part and still do a little jump at the end. That's not that big of a deal. My main concern here, because that's still gonna work just fine, my main concern is just keeping all the water in the middle. So we'll try that for now and see if it works. It's a little bit better. And I don't know, we're just gonna have to do trial and error this, if you're trial and error speaking apparently as well, until we find something that's actually gonna do the job. Alright, I got it working, at least I got the amount of water that I need in there, but the issue now is gonna be, oh yes, look how... Alright, so now it's just the water. We're still going slow, but it's because we're swimming around. That nice little, like, little exploit we're using with a half a block to get the zombies to run at the right kind of height, so the head still popped over the water, over in the water base over there. We can't use it here, so we're going a little bit too deep, which means we're swimming rather than running, and that's not going to be good for anyone. I'll still run a couple of zombies through it just to see how it goes, because you never know, maybe it affects the zombies differently than how it affects me, because the zombies don't actually have, like, that kind of swimming kind of thing. At least I don't think they do. I don't think the game thinks to make them swim when they're in deeper water like that. There's still ground for them to walk on. I think they still run on the ground. Let's get rid of that. God, that looks atrocious too. That looks so bloody ugly, but whatever. If it works, that's fine. Even if it's ugly but functional, function takes more precedence over form in most cases, but form usually comes up close second. Put that in there to get rid of that water as well, please. I need to get rid of all the excess water where I don't want it. It's just going to cause me problems. There we go. All right, I think we're all good. Oh boy, that just doesn't look good at all, does it? Alrighty, I got my Chelseas, I got my me, I got my wet spiky corridor, I got the piranha base, get their attention, turn on their AI. And completely forget that I built the drop wrong. I still need to have the path over the top for them to see it as a viable option, not just have the slippery slide, the super fun happy slide, because they will try to get up that way rather than taking the corridor. Alright, that is my bad, guys. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I need to fix my own mistake. Geez, you'd think I'd know better by now. That's just rookie hour. Alright, let's try this again. I've got my my actual, like, bridge there all sorted out. I've also added some ramps on the end here to stop them getting stuck, and they've gone off to the right place, which is good. They are moving really, really, really slow. In fact, I reckon that might actually be the slowest. It's not particularly useful, though, because look at what you got to aim for there. You got nothing to aim for, just their heads sticking out, which is fine for a Chelsea. It'll also be fine, for example, for a biker. Let's get a couple of those guys going as well. There we go. But what about something smaller? What about, like, dogs or spider zombies? Put a couple of dogs out there just to show you what I mean. And we'll also go, no, get this one, please. Spider zombie feral. Okay, so they're all gonna go run through the piranha base, and you'll see, or they'll just go some leapfrogging over the top. Okay, you guys are a bad example. The dogs will prove my point for me. So look, you can see all the big guys, and they're moving so slow. So maybe we can actually compound the slowdown effect, because these guys are all ferals. Well, look how slowly they're moving. They're trying to move quickly, but they're just trundling along like they've stubbed their toe lately, and they can't move any faster than a slow dawdle. I mean, you've just murdered all the dogs. Why did you murder the dogs? Or the dog's drowning. I don't know, but look at them go so slowly. This might actually be a decent option. It's not so great for killing the zombies. Can you shoot through the water, actually? Maybe you can. Let's go with an actual bow and see if a bow can shoot through the water. If a bow can shoot through the water, then maybe it's an option. That's a bolt. I don't need that. I need arrows, please. Let's just get iron arrows, because why not? You can see how quickly they move when they come out of the water. All right, let's try that then. I can see some legs. I can see a dog, apparently. I can shoot him right in the liver. And when his head pops out of the gate, he's still moving slow enough for me to take care of. Look at that, the slow emergence. Like the droids in episode 1 coming through the Gungan force field. Nice and slowly, just emerging into the range of fire. But yeah, apparently you can shoot through that water. That's kind of interesting. Except for that bit. Wait, why is there some parts where I can shoot the water and some I can't? How does that work? So I think there's actually a glitch with the water. You can see how it's not actually touching the bar, not the bar, the ramp there at all. So you can kind of aim for that little gap and start firing through there. So maybe it's just, okay, so maybe that's how it works though. So the block at the top here counts as a block. You can see there's already some arrows sticking into the water. You can fire into that and it counts as hitting the water. But that little gap there between that line and that line, I think maybe you can fire some arrows through. So if you Muppets get out of the way, fire through there. Oh, yeah, maybe. All right, I can't see their legs though. We're just kind of shooting and hoping. Seeing the sparks are hitting the metal, not the water though. Yes, you can. Alright, that's really interesting. So if you can hit that little gap there, you can still fire through the water. That's very helpful. In fact, to be even more helpful, okay, if you guys just stop for a second, I got out of my body for that. Let's quickly go grab all the arrows that I've stuck into the block of water, because that makes complete and total sense. Uh-oh, I just opened the door. Did I open the door? Did someone get through? All the dog bodies got through. Sorry about that, guys. In fact, can I just get this one out and sort out the rubbish? Yep, there we go. Take out the trash as it will. So take all the arrows back out of the water. If I lower down this, right, I mean, just like the half block will probably do it for me. Stainless steel, half block, grab you, and just put you along there. That should put me at about the right level. I mean, of course, if this is all higher, you'd be much, much safer. We're getting borderline close enough for the zombies to see that as an option to jump up and get me, as opposed to me just being nice and safe. Let's also get rid of you, and we'll bang in our wedge. Actually, you know what? You know what might be an even better option than all of that? Let's get rid of you, and let's get ourselves these ones, the inside quarters. That's going to give me a nice little spot in the middle that's going to keep me safe from everything outside, but it will lower me down enough that I can, like, kind of look through there and fire all the way along the corridor through that magical little opening there. I think that's going to be a good option. Look at that. That is the perfect angle. So from here, I can shoot all the way down into their legs. Like, sure, if I had a cripple on or something like that, I could cripple whatever zombies are down there. But more importantly, I can take care of the spiders and the dogs, whoever may be in. Plus, I can kind of see where the little feetsies are when I look through that little window. Oh, that missed him for some reason, though. Is that not working anymore? I can hear it going all the way through, though. No, there we go. I was just missing the arrows. Okay, so yeah, if you make yourself like a nice little divot here, I've had myself a little cage to stand in as well to keep myself out of the boiling desert sun. That actually works really well. Let's turn the AI back on, make sure everything's still running as normal. Oh, yep, no, she's thinking, okay, she's gone back the other way. Okay, that's really, really good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy we found it out. So maybe, like, those wedge tips are the thinnest blocks you can get in vanilla, other than plates. So I'll put some plates down. In fact, that's a pretty good idea, actually. Let's go kill all of these Muppets. We'll refresh our zombies in a second. But if I turn it into plates, am I going to get a slightly bigger window? Oh my god, that's because of a massive leak. A slightly bigger window for me to shoot through. Look at all the water everywhere. God, I hate the water physics in 7 days so much. But yeah, if I use a plate there, or even just like a sheet. Let's go with a sheet to start with. I've already got them on my inventory after all. And then maybe we can get like a massive little like window for us to shoot through that the zombies can't see. So everything will work just fine as long as we get this water out of the way. I've used some hay bales to make a little temporary dam here to see if it's actually going to hold the water. I don't think it's going to. Oh, no, it didn't, but that's okay. We can repair that. Let's get rid of you. That's going to get rid of that water. See, look at that. Look at that nice window you have to shoot through now. That's going to be wonderful if that actually works. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Yes, good. No leakage either. So sheets might be the go. Because then look at that. You can see so far in here. In fact, I kind of want to make this even deeper now to get a real true, like, kind of bead down that corridor. Because you can even potentially shoot a little bit higher. So if the dogs or whatever running through. Oh, I just broke. Ow, I broke down the entire cage around me. That was very, very silly. That's what I need. I need one of, where's it going to be? The inside corners of the main ramp was what I'm looking for. Even some of those, I suppose. I mean, that's probably not a bad option, actually. The steep wedge corners, because then I'm going to have a nice little pocket in the middle that I really can just kind of stand in. If a cop does get into my corridor, then it won't be able to hit me because I'll be protected by, like, this little bunker over here. I mean, that looks pretty cool. A nice little firing position, and look how far up the channel I can see all the way out the other end. that might be the way to go. I mean, sure, headshots and stuff for the other Muppets cruising through will be a little bit more difficult. Maybe I need to make like this actually like a platform on the back here or something like that, so I can kind of see down and get some headshots should I need. But like that looks like a pretty good angle there. That's a nice big window for me to shoot through and hit whoever I need to. Plus, like I could still kill all the other zombies by shooting them in like the stomachs or the knees, whatever. Or I could just go 100% cripple effect, put cripple them on my bow or rifle, whatever I got, and spec in to be able to like blow off limbs. If I make everyone a crawler, everyone's at the same height, I can just start shooting them in their faces even when they're underwater. All right, let's give it a quick little wham bam. So look, what have we got here? Look at that. Look at all. So it even takes them down to like their walking animation. It's not even that they're still trying to run. They're still just kind of, they came into the water and they start dawdling even in their animation, which is a good sign. What I need to do, I need to go and like actually do some timing, like an athletics event, but with zombies. I need to go through and see how long it takes them to run the 10 blocks in the normal spike base, like the invincible barbed wire, how long it takes to run the 10 blocks in the water base, and then compare it to this one and see which one's actually slow. Because even though they look like they're going a whole lot slower, and I get the added advantage of being able to shoot them all in the ankles nice and safely. Chelsea, can you not please? How the hell did you get over that? I mean, that's to jump on someone's head. That's not okay. I didn't build that for you to get across. I built that to keep me safe. It's very rude of you to think you're welcome over here into my little safety pit. But yeah, if I can compare the 3 different times, see which one's actually slower. Because even though I feel like this one might be, I need to actually get to empirical proof. Data is always more important than gut feelings. Although, just looking at this as well, it looks like the water sprung a leak on the other side as well. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, look at that. Look at the mess it's made. It's wetter than a bloody spooge rag out here. That's really annoying. I tried to make it watertight, but it did not work. So before I go and clear that up, though, I'm going to have to go and do some athletics and see how long it takes to run through this one and through that one, because they should both be about the same length. I'll make sure that I'm running the same distance over the same time and see which one's slower. I'm using the same person as well. Let's use a Chelsea for all of our experiments, because that's what Chelsea's good for. No, you stay there. You stay on that starting line. You don't do anything silly. I'm going to put you there, put me here, and actually, let's go over here. I'm just going to get our stopwatch out and see exactly how long it takes you to get from there to here. You know what? Just to get you in the mood of things, let's get our, where's that checkered plate? I know I've used it before. That one? No, yeah, that one's about the closest I'm going to get. Here you go. Look, here is your finish line. Make it to the checkered flag, Chelsea. It's all you. Okay, so I tested both the old invincible barbed wire base and the old water base, and turns out water is not as slow as I thought it was. In my mind, like, water slowed them down quite a lot, but it's really only a marginal difference from normal. I mean, from Chelsea, who's normally barreling along at a quarter rate of knots, when she goes in the water, she slows down a bit, but it only took 3.5 seconds for Chelsea to traverse 10 blocks in water. It took her 8.5 seconds to get through the invincible barbed wire base. So, if this base takes her any longer than what, like 12 seconds, I suppose it is? 8.5, 9. Yeah, so 12 seconds, then we know that this isn't actually combining the effects, it's just using one or the other. So let's give that a crack. I have my stopwatch ready to go. Start her AI. When she gets to the top, I'll press start, and yep, in she goes. Or she kind of stopped there for a second, but she's already going, okay, she hasn't completely stopped. Chelsea, you're ruining my experiment. For goodness sake, can you just lust after me for more than 3 seconds? I know it's a chore, I know it's hard, and I know the mojitos have worn off a long time ago, but just pretend like you want to be with me for 4 seconds. No, now she's actively running away from me. All right, well, this is like every other day of my life then. Cool game, thanks for reminding me of that. Let's try that again. Keep the gun firing to keep her attention. AI on. Where is she? There she is. And start as soon as she goes in the water. And already she looks like she's going a lot slower than she was before. She's almost standing still at this point. So what? It took her 8.5 seconds to get through the invincible barbed wire. Took her 3.5 seconds to get through the water. So she's already blown the water base out of the water, so to speak. We're now at 17 seconds. She's taken an age to get through. This is combining all the effects and making it one super duper awesome, super slow base. It's dunking her in a pit of super glue. And yeah, out the other side. So what's that? That's 28 seconds for her to get all the way across there. That's pretty bloody impressive. I'm pretty happy with that one. I'll run one more test to make sure that my math was actually right. But so far, that looks like it's going to run perfectly. Yeah, so that one was 27:52. So I have to kind of take into account my reaction speed of pressing start and stop and stuff like that. So 28 seconds, I feel, is a good little, like, kind of a measuring stick for that one. So it's clearly much, much slower than the water base. Much, much slower than the barbed wire base. Like, by a considerable margin. It's almost, what, like twice as slow as both of them put together. So really, it's not only just like compounding. I guess it is compounding. It's not just like adding the slowdown effects. It is multiplying the slowdown effects. You're really getting a real good super glue effect on the zombies and make them run through very, very slowly. Now, this is not an easy base to build. Like, even in God mode, it was annoying. It was tinkering. You know, you got to go through and get all the right parts and clean up all the water and stuff like that. It could be doable. I mean, this is done. There's probably, I think there's like 12 blocks of water to go into this because they kind of spread out. So 12 blocks of water isn't that too insurmountable if you're nearby a lake or something to get the water in there. The hardest part's always going to be the drawbridges, just for sheer materials. But you could totally make something like this. This is not that too much of an ask, and it works really well. If your main goal is just to slow down the zombies, you don't really care about headshots, don't really care about anything else, you just want to make them as slow as possible, then this is the way to go. And it worked out, it surprised me with how well this actually worked out. But there you go, guys. That is the super glue base, or the piranha base, whichever one I'm going to actually call it. I'm not really sure yet. I kind of like the piranha base because it's wet and it chomps on your ankles with all its little spiky teeth. But it's effectively putting zombies in super glue, and I really like it. It kind of it describes what the base is perfectly. You want to slow down zombies, that is how you do it. So thank you to the lot of people who were commenting on the videos asking if this was possible. There you go. Apparently it is. So if there is any other viewer requested bases you want to see me do, bang it down to the comments. I'll read them. If it's possible, I'll give it a red hot crack. But I'll have to give it that crack in another episode because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If y'all liked it, make sure you hit the like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.